Everybody already thinks they know the story of Shadur Sanders. They think he's overwhelmed, overhyped, not ready. They think the Browns reached, the moment is too big, and the league is already exposing him. But then one voice cut through all the noise, and it forced the NFL world to pause. Because when Greg Cosell speaks, the conversation changes, not because he's loud, not because he's chasing clicks, but because he watches the tape when everyone else watches the box score. And what Cosell saw on film tells a completely different story about Shadur Sanders. The narrative around Sanders has been building since the moment he stepped into the league. Every throw is dissected. Every mistake becomes a headline. Every slow start turns into a verdict. And it didn't take long before fans and analysts started leaning into the easiest conclusion that the Browns' rookie quarterback looks lost, overwhelmed, and in over his head. Social media didn't help. Neither did the constant comparisons. His name carries weight, expectations, and baggage whether he asked for it or not. So instead of patience, Sanders got pressure. Instead of context, he got criticism. And instead of development, he got labeled. 3 starts in, and people were already calling it. But Cosell didn't see panic on film. He didn't see a quarterback drowning. He saw something else entirely. When Cosell was asked about Sanders' early performances, he didn't hedge. He didn't soften it. He didn't hide behind vague language. He said plainly that Sanders doesn't look like a quarterback who's struggling just to survive at the NFL level. In his words, Sanders looks like he's got something on the ball, not flashy praise, not hype, just honest evaluation. And coming from Cosell, that matters more than any viral clip or hot take. Because what Cosell watches isn't wins and losses, it's processing, timing, reads, and decision-making. And on that level, Sanders was already showing signs that most critics weren't even looking for. The biggest disconnect in this entire debate is that people are confusing results with ability. They're reacting to incomplete drives, stalled possessions, and ugly moments without asking why those moments happened. Cosell went deeper. He broke down specific plays that exposed what Sanders is actually capable of when things break right. One throw against New England stood out immediately. 3rd and long, late in the second quarter. Defense rotates late. Coverage disguises shift at the snap. This isn't a simple read. This isn't a bailout throw. This is the kind of moment where young quarterbacks freeze or guess. Sanders didn't. He recognized the rotation. He trusted the window. And he delivered a 42-yard strike downfield to David Njoku. Cosell called it exactly what it was, like a big-time NFL throw. That's not something you fake. That's not something you stumble into. That's processing speed. That's confidence. That's quarterbacking. And here's the part most people missed. The Bills run that same type of late rotation defense, which is exactly why Cosell brought it up. He wasn't just praising the throw, he was explaining why it matters. Sanders isn't just surviving against basic looks. He's already showing the ability to beat sophisticated coverages when he sees them clearly. But Cosell didn't sugarcoat anything either. He was just as clear about where Sanders still struggles. There are moments where the processing slows. Times where routes come open and the ball doesn't come out fast enough. Plays left on the field because the clock in his head hasn't fully synced to NFL speed yet, and that's the key word. Yet. Because none of this surprised Cosell. Not the good, not the bad. Why would it? Sanders had only played 3 NFL games. And he wasn't even getting consistent first-team reps before that. That part somehow gets ignored. He wasn't groomed as the starter from day one. He didn't spend months running the offense with the ones. He was thrown into the fire and expected to look polished immediately. That's not development. That's survival. Under those circumstances, the fact that Sanders is showing flashes at all changes the entire conversation. And Cosell made that clear. He said you're going to see good plays, and you're going to see bad ones. That's not failure. That's the learning curve. One of the most criticized moments of Sanders' early stretch